My name is Blade Masters from Talon, and I'm here today to make a very simple footwork video. A member of my realm asked me to help them with footwork, and so I decided to make a video series about it. So today I'm going to cover three really basic types of footwork. There's the lunge, step, and what I call a dart. So lunge and a step are kind of very, very basic, and then there's the dart itself. So we're going to start with the step. The step is simple. So first of all, we're going to get into like a basic footwork stance. I'm not going to have a weapon or anything in hand, so that we can completely focus on my feet, nothing but my feet. So similar, let's say you're in single blue. I generally have either both my feet pointed at my opponent. I fight on my toes, not like literally on my heels standing up, but imagine if you are not on my toes standing up, but just imagine if you lift your heels ever so slightly. I fight on the balls of my feet, on my toes, as some people will call it. This gives me a more bouncy, springy step. I have one foot pointed directly at my opponent most of the time, and the other foot is sometimes at like a 45-degree angle, depending on the stance, and sometimes pointed backwards, but honestly, for today, we're just going to worry about getting both those feet pointed at the opponent. So we can imagine that, and I am as bladed to my opponent as possible, right? So if I can reach out and touch, my body is bladed in that manner. We don't want to be fighting or doing any type of footwork, even on the ball, even on the balls of our feet, standing parallel just like this. So blade ourselves to our opponent. A step is extremely basic. Quite literally, whatever direction you want to move, you're going to move that foot first in a step no greater than like shoulder width, right? So if I want to step forward, I would move my front foot first. All right? So if I was going back this way, this is now my forward, right? Front foot first, that's what it looks like. If I wanted to step backwards, I move my back foot first. That's it, right? So I can do that with a degree of urgency. So same thing here. That's it, nothing massive, right? And all that is moving whatever foot first that is in the direction. If I wanted to step right, so this is my right for the video, maybe your left. If I wanted to step right, I move my right foot first. Boom, I stepped over. If I wanted to move left foot first, right? So same thing the other way. If I want to move this direction, I would move that foot. If I want to move this direction, I would move that foot. That's step. That's all the step is. You can do that with a degree of urgency, right? You can step in, step back, step sideways, right? You can do multiple steps with a degree of urgency and speed. The speed is irrelevant for a basic step. That's all it is. So once again, keep those knees bent, keep yourself on the balls of your feet. Basic step. That's it. Things to remember as far as center of balance is concerned. We're keeping our center of balance over our center, honestly. So if I have a pole here, when I do the step, so this shouldn't wait. So I shouldn't be leaning in any type of ridiculous directions or anything like that, especially not sideways. When I do the step, I do not step further than what will allow my balance and center of balance any greater than that. So next, we have a lunge. So the purpose of a lunge is to gain distance. Two main functions of a lunge. You can either gain reach without leaving a primary position. For example, so I'm in my set position right here. I can lunge further without truly leaving. My back foot did not move, without truly giving up this space or moving. I can lunge and try to gain distance, but I can leap out and lunge very far at people, but I've given up that distance. And once again, a lunge kind of sacrifices a lot of that general stability that step had, right? I am going to be leaning forward on my front foot a great amount. So if I lunge, you can see that like the stick attached to my body has move forward, right? If to show lunge going in the other directions, for just like this read backwards, I lunge forward here, showing sideways here. I lunge forward. You can see the pole. I lunge forward. So, like I said, you can jump forward with a lunge if you wish, but the main thing is you're putting a lot of weight on this front foot, whatever that front foot is. The dynamics of a lunge is similar to a step, except you take a really large step. So, same mechanics, same thing along the balls of my feet. I reach out, bang, I've lunged, right? And I have this big, wide stance here at the end of a lunge. You should not lunge farther than what you can recover from easily, right? So, regardless of the foot that you're on, I'm not gonna lunge so far forward that I cannot stand, right? A lunge is still good footwork, despite the fact that you are moving where the balance is. You end up in this very elongated stance here to gain reach. That is the purpose of a lunge. You're gaining reach, it's a little harder to recover from. That's fine. The last step here, or the last piece of footwork in this like basic footwork here, is what I call a dart. So, I have years and years of Taekwondo under my belt, 2 whole degrees, blah, 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 all that good stuff. This dart footwork comes from that. So, as we said when we did a step was lifting the front foot and moving it first, correct? So we are kind of propelling ourselves with that step. We're kind of letting ourselves lean forward in that, right? Our back foot has not moved until like this foot has landed to catch up. On a dart, you're going to lift your foot ever so slightly, in whatever direction you want to move in, ever so slightly, and you're going to explode off of this back foot, right? So you are bang, bang. It may seem like a jump until you get more used to it, bang. So what's the difference between a step and a dart? A dart is committed, fast, moved. On a step, I can get to almost any point in it, no matter how fast I'm moving, and decide to change directions. A dart is like, sometimes you're seeing the TV shows or animes where characters suddenly aren't moving and then bam, they're in front of you. That's the point of a dart. All right, the point of a dart is to take the entirety of my body, right, and explode forward, explode backwards, explode sideways, explode in any direction. And like I said, no matter what direction you're going, you are picking up the foot in the direction you want to go, ever so slightly, and pushing, digging hard on the supporting of the, whatever your back leg or whatever, the other leg in that scenario, and shooting forward. So this foot is not coming up here, and then I'm darting. None of that. That is not a dart. It's a different motion, mostly unnecessary, but even if I wanted to move backwards, I would be lifting this foot ever so slightly off the ground and pushing. And those are basic footwork ideas that I use for different things. Once again, the step is while you're in range of your opponent. I'm not crossing my feet at all. Definitely do not do this. So like I said, whatever direction I want to move in, that foot moves first. I'm doing it cautiously. This is non-committal footwork. Very simple, very easy to move around in, not very tiring. Then you have the lunge. You can lunge in, technically you could lunge backwards. It's not, I don't think people call it a backwards lunge, but yes, you could lunge backwards to change the distance, but oftentimes a lunge is used to gain distance without moving your back leg very much. You can jump forward with the lunge to gain much more ground, as I demonstrate again, but it's a lot harder to recover from. So once again, lunge, And then the dart. The idea is to shoot forward on someone or shoot backwards because you don't know what's happening. You need to get out of a scenario quickly. You can shoot left, shoot right, you can dart in all of these in any direction you want. Simply lift your foot and orient yourself in that direction. So that's basic footwork number one. I will hopefully do a series of these. The next one I'll work on is probably a gathering or into a pendulum step the next time I do these. I am and have been Sir Tyler. Thank you. GoPro, stop recording. This thing hates me.